But hello, it's me, from inside your chest. I am the heart. Every day I beat about 100,000 times. I ask for no applause, no praise, yet I keep working with everything I have. You know, the life of a heart isn't just about pumping blood. I also carry the things you don't say out loud: your sadness, your joy, your memories, your wounds, and all your hopes. Everything, absolutely everything, passes through me. Today, I want to tell you the story of my own journey. It's a story of going from being strong to becoming utterly exhausted, and then finally learning how to heal and grow healthy again. Somewhere in this story, I believe you may find a piece of yourself. The moment you let out your first cry, your tiny, brand new, heart worked with pure, unblemished innocence. I beat because of love. I felt the steady rhythm of your mother's love as she held you close to her chest. I swelled with the overwhelming love of your father as he looked at you, a perfect miracle. I thrummed with the love of a vast, new world unfolding all around you. When you laughed for the first time, my rhythm felt as light as sunshine dancing on water. When you fell and a kind hand helped you up, I bloomed like a flower in spring. Back then, I was impossibly strong. I knew no fear, no pressure, no anxiety. My entire existence was guided by one simple, powerful truth. Loving is my instinct, but life, as you discovered, isn't always gentle. As you grew, I began to hold more than just love. I started to carry the heavy weight of criticism. I strained under the crushing pressure of expectations. I absorbed the silent disappointments that you never spoke of. I held the tension of all the moments you endured without a single word of protest. There were days you would laugh loudly in front of people, but inside I would tighten with a deep, aching pain. Your friends and family didn't know that your laughter cost me a tremendous amount of energy. It felt like you were forcing me to run a marathon when my legs were already weak and trembling. And then, one day, you fell in love. My beats became fiery, glowing with a new intensity. I danced like a joyful child wrapped in the sweetest embrace. But love, I soon learned, was also the place where I first discovered how to truly break. When you were disappointed, I shattered into a million tiny, sharp pieces. When you held on too tightly, desperate not to lose what you had, I was stretched thin to the very point of tearing. And when you cried, I sank into a heavy, suffocating sea of sorrow. You thought that time would eventually heal everything, but every single wound, every crack, every tear was stitched together by me. I wasn't healthy, not by a long shot, but I kept going. I had to. Let me be honest with you. There were times, many times, when I was not okay. Not because of a physical illness, but because of what you fed me every single day. You fed me endless, gnawing anxiety. The fear of failure, the fear of losing someone, the fear of not being good enough. Every single fear was another heavy stone placed directly on top of me, making it harder to beat. You fed me sleepless nights. You spent hours scrolling on your phone, drowning your mind in a constant stream of noise and distraction. With every passing hour of lost sleep, you added another layer of profound fatigue onto my already burdened shoulders. You fed me relentless self-criticism. Why am I not good enough? Why can't I just be like everyone else? Each of these sentences was like a thin, sharp blade cutting into me over and over again. And you made me race for things that, in the grand scheme of things, didn't truly matter. You wanted to be faster, stronger, to achieve more. But in your relentless pursuit, you forgot that I am not a machine. I am a living, feeling part of you. Slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, my rhythm began to change. Sometimes I would beat far too fast, leaving you feeling breathless and panicked. Other times, I would beat too slow, a sluggish, heavy pulse that filled you with a sense of dread. And sometimes I would tighten painfully in your chest, a sharp, constricting sensation that stole your breath. Those were my cries for help. They were my desperate signals to you. But you brushed them off. You told yourself it was just stress. I didn't stop beating, but I was so far from being healthy. Then, one day, something shifted. You sat alone, in complete silence. There was no rushing, no pretending, no chasing after anything. You simply sat and you placed your hand on your chest, right over me, and you asked a question I had been waiting years to hear. Hey, heart, are you okay? I stayed quiet at first, but I felt your sincerity. After so many years of being ignored, you finally remembered me. And from that day forward, you began to listen. You started to breathe slower, and with each deep, intentional breath, a small weight was lifted off me. You started to walk a little each day, and with each step, the suffocating tension that had built up around me began to loosen. You began to let go of useless burdens, the worries and expectations that weren't yours to carry, and I finally had space to breathe again. You started to eat more kindly, choosing foods that nourished us instead of ones that made me struggle. You learned to say no to things that were not meant for you, and my beats felt lighter and steadier as you grew stronger inside. And most importantly, you began to forgive yourself. For the first time in a very long time, I saw a glimmer of light. I started getting healthier, not quickly, but genuinely, from the inside out. Do you know what happens when I am truly healthy? Everything changes. When I am healthy, I help you sleep deeper than you ever have before. I help you love with a steadier, more resilient passion. I help you forgive others and yourself with far more ease. I help you think with newfound clarity. I help you remain calm and centered, even when life's storms are raging around you. And I help you feel genuine joy in even the smallest, most ordinary things. When I'm healthy, your whole body shifts into safe mode. You no longer feel the constant, frantic need to run. You no longer feel the need to hold everything inside, to bear your burdens alone. I help you taste life, truly taste it, in a way you never could when you were rushing past it all. The secret I want to tell you, the secret to keeping me well, is surprisingly simple. I don't need you to be rich. I don't need you to be perfect. I don't even need you to be strong all the time. All I want is enough sleep. Give me 7 hours of rest, and I promise to give you a more peaceful and energized day. I want kind food, more fresh vegetables, less heavy oils and processed junk. You don't need to strive for perfection, just a little bit of kindness. I want a bit of movement every day. Even just 10 minutes of walking helps me in ways you can't possibly imagine. And please, keep toxins away from me. I'm not just talking about smoke or alcohol. Hatred, comparison, and self-blame, they poison me more than anything else. When you're hurting, breathe slowly and deeply. Each conscious breath is like a warm, comforting hug for me. And finally, talk to me often. Place your hand on your chest and just ask, "Heart, are you okay?" I always answer it just depends on whether you are willing to listen. My journey is your journey. I've had days of incredible strength and days of debilitating weakness. I have felt pain, exhaustion, and complete despair. But through it all, I kept beating. One beat, then another, and another. Not because I'm invincible, but because I love you. From the very first day you were born until the day you grow old, no one stays with you as long as I do no one. And if you choose to slow down, to listen, and to care for me, even just a little, I promise you this, I will keep beating for you for a very, very long time.